main takeaways from
Yeah,
Saturday.
I feel like we're seeing a little bit of the same thing again. Ever since FSU, we're kind of seeing that kind of same pattern of just a really, really, really slow start on offense, and it takes so long for them to kind of get into the game on offense. And once they do, they start playing really well, but they have to like finally get back in, like get in rhythm on the offense. The game started with 8 straight punts, and I thought this game was going to be one of those. Like it was like 7.5 again, and then Miami would blow them out, and it was some similar to that. But they took control of the game with like two and a half
Like
minutes left
from
in the
that
second
few
quarter.
minute left in the second quarter mark.
Yeah, that 5-play 90-yard drive, started. I would say the everything you can say the game started with the Dalen Upshaw 41-yard catch
Yes.
and run, that screen from Beck to Upshaw. Didn't even know it was him because I thought his number was 13. And then I see him running down the sideline, right? Like that specific play, I would say kind of started the entire game for Miami. It was like, all right, yeah, I forgot. We're really, really good. We're so much better than the Syracuse team. You have that. Then the next play is a Josh Moore 12-yard catch. The next play, you bring out the trickery. It's similar to the Louisville play of the flea flicker, or the back to Tony to Daniels, or
Yeah.
similar to that. It was a extension of that, you could call it, where it was back to Tony back to back runs it in. It was a cool play. I appreciated the creativity from Shannon Dawson this week in the second half. I thought, and the whole team in general, they really wanted to give Syracuse the business after what happened last year. It felt like that was definitely playing in their minds
100%.
to absolutely win this game. They clearly don't like Fran Brown in Syracuse, so it felt good to one, win that game, and also win in that kind of fashion in the second half. But I would say specifically the game opened up on that Upshaw play, leads to that touchdown. The very next drive, you get the Keontae Scott pick six, which was just a huge, huge game-changing play. And we were talking about this in the press box. I was talking about it actually in the press box, like right before the pick six. I said, it's kind of weird that Miami doesn't have any defensive touchdowns this year through week 10. Not even 2 seconds later, he gets the pick six. So very, very fitting, very funny. And then it just felt like from that point on, that whole middle eight, the dominance in the middle eight, kind of led to this kind of dominant win of 38-10.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. And I think kind of the biggest thing that we saw was much more explosive plays, quicker
Yes.
drives. Kind of the point we were going through last week was, this whole kind of D'Anthony Lafayette. Oh,
Yes, I saw the tweet from the GM. I needed to see. Yeah, is he the 4-star?
yeah. Well, on 24/7 Composite, 4-star edge out of Orlando, Florida, committing to Miami. We know the way this Miami team works. Well, I guess we'll talk about that real quick. Breaking news, been on there. This Miami team loves to build in the trenches, and you consistently got to build through them to dominate the game like they want to, be physical, and especially on that edge room. You see what Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor have done, developing here. Another guy to add to that rotation when Hayden Lowe starts to get involved next year, and you see other guys just name a couple of young guys. Nice solid addition to kind of add to that rotation of defensive ends and edge players. Just reading off the
He was an LSU guy, decommitted yesterday from LSU.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
that was what a lot of flips Miami's getting with a lot of the coach firing. So they're doing a really, really good stuff right now, and that's another big piece. Just keep winning. Just keep winning certain guys. I mean, they've done a whole lot of recruiting over the last week or so. I know there's a lot of guys that are in circles about who they're looking at in terms of prospects. I know some people that know the names. I don't. But these guys are that Miami is really targeting some of these guys. I wish I knew these guys' names. I'm not in tune to the recruiting. When the season ends, we'll definitely be doing much more of a recruiting focus.
100%. I mean, just to kind of name another one, different than the edge room, but we've kind of heard the rumors about the Keeman Spell, the 5-star running back out of Penn State. That's gonna, that's been. I think he visited the Syracuse one of the last 2 games. I think he visited. One of the last 2 home games I think he visited for. So just another name to keep an eye on as Miami tries to flip guys from teams who have had their coaches fired in recent weeks. Just another name to keep an eye on. Like in terms of the edge room, we know where this Miami team built. Jason Taylor is a phenomenal developing his edge guys, and you gotta if you're a young prospect, this is definitely a place you want to go. to go and work on the defensive line end of things. And this way this Miami team has emphasized building out through the trenches. It's a key spot and definitely something to look at as this offseason continues to move on. But back to the game. One of the key takeaways that I took from it was these quick strike drives. Some of it was doing stuff they usually do. The Dalen Upshaw play, it was an explosive play off of a screen pass, their typical wide receiver screen that he broke out for a big catch and run. So some of that stuff was just typical, but the trick plays, the score touchdowns. Look at how these drives go. Miami's touchdown drives: 5 for 90, 3 for 78. One of them was off an interception, so 4 for 5 yards. But their last touchdown drive, 5 for 51. Just stuff where it's not all these. They did have one longer drive, 9 for 83, but it doesn't have to be this long, methodical. We're gonna go 10, 9 to 12 plays, and we're gonna take 5 to 7 minutes off the clock and churn the timeout. It's moving the ball fast, getting into position, and creating explosive plays where they can where they can happen. I mean, think about the Keelan Marion, what was that?
61-yard touchdown.
61-yard touchdown, where more of a catch and run play, but Beck quick strike up the middle. It would have gotten a chunk. It would have been a chunk play either way, but then it just because of how the ball gets there, the safety not tracking it well, the DB's not tracking it well. Marion's able to go and catch and run, and he's off to the races with that one. So it was really nice to see Miami put an emphasis more on explosives, and we saw a little bit more of the outside run. Definitely Gerard Pringle was a nice surprise during this game. Definitely stepping in as that potential third running back, maybe even second running back, depending on how this running back room shifts. If they ride the hot hand a little bit more, keep Marty Brown as that ground and pound guy, and then maybe Jordan Lyle takes a little bit more of a back seat. We'll see how that shifts with Fletcher out for probably another game or two. And yeah, I mean, it was really nice to see this offense be as explosive as it was consistently throughout this game and try different things. So
yeah, it felt like I mentioned the middle, but it felt like during that time, from that 2.5 point mark from the Upshaw play to, I don't know, maybe 12 minutes left in the third quarter, went from 0-0 to 21-0. So from that chunk of game time alone, that has been the entirety of this game. And yeah, I think the biggest thing is Pringle. Like just from watching him, he's playing with a lot of that speed and elusiveness that we just hadn't seen that we expected from Lyle, but really hadn't seen from it. And also just in general, just like, where has that been? Where's that kind of speed, that burst that we've been looking for? He kind of brought that, and he's brought that kind of all season in the spurts that he's played. He gets, 7 carries today or last week, and he goes off. And his 19-yard touchdown run was great. He had a great game. I really do want more of him. I really think he could be a really key contributor as we wind down the rest of the season.